Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. So, as the title says, we'll be talking about Yoimiya, one of the new characters coming in Phase 2 of 2.0. Now, you may be wondering why I'm talking about her now and not when she releases, and that's because we got some gameplay for her through her questline that was released with Ika's and the main story for Inazuma. And I also thought, why not, it'll be an interesting topic to talk about. In this video, I'm just going to go through her abilities and her first, second, fourth, and sixth constellations, choosing these ones because they're the ones that actually do more than just a percentage buff. So without further dilly-dallying, let's get into it. Starting off with her attack style / pattern, her normal attacks are very similar to Fischl in the sense that she has the machine gun bow beginning to the attack and then proceeds to do a lot of single shots. This doesn't mean much seeing as it's the normal attack, you're going to be using it regardless if you want Yoimiya as a main DPS. Going on to her unique charge attack, in a sense it is very similar to Ganyu where she has a level 2 charge attack, where you have the first charge adding the elemental effect, then the second charge adding a unique character specific effect. Yoimiya's level 2 charge attack takes about 1 to 2 seconds to charge up, and when you reach the second charge, over the next 0.5 seconds, 3 sparklers will appear on your screen floating around Yoimiya. This is the unique effect of a level 2 charge attack. What this does is now when you fire the shot, those 3 sparklers will also fire in the same direction and home in on the closest enemy, dealing about 10% of the charge shot's damage. So for example, if the charge shot does 5,000, then the sparklers will do 500. This is a rough estimate of a percentage because I didn't thoroughly test it due to the quest completing. Going onto her elemental skill called Nawabi Fire Dance, Yoimiya waves a sparkler and causes a ring of saltpeter to surround her. During this time, arrows fired by Yoimiya's normal attacks will be blazing arrows. She'll get a damage boost and attacks will be converted into pyro damage. During this time, her charge attacks will not generate kindling arrows at level 2, which basically means when you use her elemental skill, do not use her charge attack at all. So the gameplay loop would be use her elemental skill, then attack with only normal attacks till the elemental skill's duration ends, then you can start doing charge attacks. The skill attributes are a duration of 10 seconds with a cooldown of 18 seconds, so you can't have her elemental skill up infinitely, but the more interesting thing is the blazing arrow damage. On the screen, it says 158.8% normal attack damage, and what that means is that when you use her elemental skill, your normal attacks will have an increase in damage by 158.8%. So for example, if we land a normal shot that deals 1000 damage, and then we use her elemental skill, her shots will then be doing 2588 damage, and that's only at level 9. All these damage values I'm using in examples are not taking into consideration artifacts and damage bonuses, just using static numbers to show the strength of the skills. Shifting over to her elemental burst, Yoimiya leaps into the air along with her original creation, the Ryukin Sacrilege, or however you say it, I don't really know, and fires forth blazing rockets, dealing AoE pyro damage and marking one enemy with Aurous Blaze. So in summary, you use her elemental burst, she does some damage and marks one enemy with Aurous Blaze. And what Aurous Blaze does is all normal charged and plunging attacks, elemental skill and bursts by characters other than Yoimiya cause an AoE pyro damage explosion around the marked target. So this is pretty much an off-field damage ability that Yoimiya can do. If the enemy dies with the mark still on them, it will be transferred to another nearby enemy, and this explosion can only be triggered once every 2 seconds. To be completely honest, this doesn't excite me, but I can see the potential. Comboing Aurous Blaze with like a Ganyu or a Child, or maybe even a Xingqiu would prove very strong, maybe for some massive consistent off-field damage by Yoimiya. In terms of excitement and adding to her kit, it doesn't do all that much, though I don't doubt it will be pretty powerful when comboed correctly. Skill damage and Aurous Blaze are calculated differently. The duration is 10 seconds, so you can theoretically get 5 hits of Aurous Blaze from one elemental burst, and I couldn't get much footage of the burst due to there being limited enemies. Jumping into her constellations, Yoimiya's first constellation is Agate Ryukin, which makes Aurous Blaze last 4 seconds longer to a total of 14 seconds, and additionally, when an opponent is defeated while they have Aurous Blaze on them, Yoimiya's attack is increased by 20%. Pretty good, big damage increase, and theoretically can get 2 more hits of Aurous Blaze damage. Solid constellation. Her second constellation, a procession of bonfires. When Yoimiya's pyro damage crits, she gains 25% pyro damage bonus for 6 seconds, can be triggered off field. Another absolutely phenomenal constellation, the trigger isn't hard to execute and it provides a pretty hefty amount of damage bonus. Solid constellation. Her fourth constellation, Pyrotechnic Professional. When Yoimiya's own Aura's Blaze triggers an explosion, Nawabi's Fire Dance's CD is decreased by 1.2 seconds. Not a damage boost, but a gameplay enhancer. Use her elemental skill for its full duration, then pop her burst, switch characters for 5 to 10 seconds, explode the Aura's Blaze a lot, then switch back to Yoimiya and you'll have her skill up again. Her final constellation, Naganohara Meteor Swarm. During Nawabi Fire Dance, Yoimiya's normal attacks have a 50% chance to fire an extra kindling arrow that deals 60% of its original damage, considered normal attack damage. So in summary, when you use her elemental skill, 50% of the time you will fire off a sparkler exactly like the ones from her elemental burst, just with a different damage value. This one is amazing and also terrible at the same time. Amazing because it will provide a big chunk of damage, but terrible because you just won't be using her charge attack at all really. Okay, so let's conclude this. Yoimiya has some pretty high potential in single target damage. AoE maybe not so much, not a lot of her kit actually hits multiple enemies, only really her elemental burst. But the single target damage is going to be super high in my opinion. Her base kit buffs up her normal attacks, then taking into consideration her second constellation, which is a 25% pyro damage bonus, and her sixth constellation, which just adds more damage to the pool. With both of these, she could achieve some insane DPS, maybe not a one-hit wonder like Hu Tao, but some insane damage per second. Now obviously not everyone can get her second and sixth constellation, I probably won't at all, but even C0 Yoimiya I feel will do some pretty insane, single target specifically, damage per second. Well then, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and if you enjoy this type of guide / conversation styled video, then hit that subscribe button. Hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.